I eat children.
Oh,
How old are you?
12.
12.
Oh, okay. Only to 10.
Only
Okay,
to
that's
10.
good.
Okay, we are safe.
That's good.
Children and pineapple.
Children and pineapple.
That makes sense.
I eat children.
Oh,
How old are you?
12.
12.
Oh, okay. Only to 10.
Only
Okay,
to
that's
10.
good.
Okay, we are safe.
That's good.
Children and pineapple.
Children and pineapple.
That makes sense.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Now, I know what people are thinking. Obviously, for those of us who are awake, we know exactly what Hollywood does, what these globalists do. And when somebody hears somehow, I don't even know how this is a joke nowadays, but people find humor in this stuff because they don't even know what they're laughing at. But humor such as this, right, where they goes, well, I eat children. And people go, ha ha ha, what am I laughing at? Yeah, we eat children. Up 10 and under. People think that these people are joking. And I get it when somebody finds a video like this, they're just going to go, you're insane, you're out of your mind, because this isn't something you would lead with to somebody who's asleep. This isn't a topic you would go, hey, to somebody who's just walking around in a daze who thinks everything going on in the world is real. You wouldn't go up to them and go, hey, do you know that they eat babies? Because their head would explode. They can't take it. That's, again, one of the reasons that I focus on signs and symbols is because when people see the repetition, it helps break them from the mind control. Now, I want to just get into this for a few minutes because it's just funny how they've taken this. Well, it's not literally funny. I mean, it's just ridiculous how they've taken this and they can continue to say stuff like this about eating children. And people they don't even realize what they're even saying. And they just laugh at it. They're like, oh, he's just joking around. When in reality, people should be like, what are you joking about eating a child for? I mean, that's disgusting. It's not funny. It's inappropriate, right? But instead, we live in a world where nowadays, if a guy tells a woman she looks beautiful, it's sexual harassment and it's repulsive and the guy's a pervert, right? But they could say stuff like this. I mean, it's insane how upside down everything is, but that's the way that these people operate. Now, I've covered The Rock before. These Saturday Night Live clips, Hail Satan. The other clip about the robot, which you'll see here.
Hi guys. I'm my name is Roy, and for the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot. I beg your pardon, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll speak up. It's a robot that is designed to molest children. And I call it Robo Chomo. You see, it's powered by solar rechargeable fuel cells, and it costs pennies to manufacture. And it can theoretically molest twice as many children as a human molester in, quite frankly, half the time. So, do I win the contest? It seems like I win. Seems like I win.
Oh my God!
What's wrong?
What's wrong? My most evil idea was a blizzard in July.
Right. Well, I went in a slightly different direction with the assignment.
You built a mechanical sex predator!
Yes. That's exactly right. This guy gets it. You get it.
Oh my God, no I don't. How do you even build a child molesting robot?
Well, that's a great question. What you do is you start by building a regular robot, then you molest it and note that it continues the cycle.
Obviously, when you become as big and as famous as The Rock and you come from, professional wrestling background to be one of the most highly paid people, of course, in Hollywood, of course you're a part of it. All of these people are, and they let their hand be known. They always talk about these things. They flash the hand signs, right? They act as philanthropists. Remember, I constantly talk about philanthropy because that is what they're all taught through Freemasonry, through all of these secret societies they go through. They're told to present themselves as philanthropists. That way they're perceived by people as always being giving and caring people, and they can point a finger at you and say, well, what do you do with your time? What do you do with your money? Oh, these people are giving to cancer. Oh, these people are giving to this. What are you doing? When in reality, we shouldn't even be dealing with things like cancer. We're only dealing with it because they've created it, and they give it to people through the chemicals that they dump on us. But nonetheless, let's talk about this sacrificing and this cannibalism thing. I've talked about it many times with Aleister Crowley. And in his books and his teaching on magic, he says for the highest spiritual working, one must accordingly choose that victim which contains the greatest and purest force. A male child of perfect innocence and high intelligence is the most satisfactory and suitable victim. For evocations, it would be more convenient to place the blood of the victim in the triangle. He goes on to say, the bloody sacrifice, though more dangerous, is more efficient, and for nearly all purposes, human sacrifice is the best. So he talks about human sacrifice here, but this isn't the first place we hear about it. For those of you who aren't familiar with blood libel, okay, and I can't say some of the words in here, but you could read along for yourself. I'm going to replace the word with those people. But just look at this, and again, this isn't hate speech against anyone. I'm just telling you that this existed. And when things like this exist, people just go, oh, people made it up. Oh, it's a false allegation. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Well, what's it out there for then? Ask yourself that. Oh, all these people just got together to make it up, right? So it says blood libel is an anti-Semitic word accusing these people of kidnapping and murdering the children of Christians in order to use their blood as part of religious rituals. Again, that's blood libel. Historically, these claims, alongside those of well poisoning and host desecration, have been a major theme of the persecution of these people. Blood libels typically say that these people require human blood for the baking of matzahs for Passover, although the element was allegedly absent in the earliest cases, which claim that then contemporary Jews reenacted the crucifixion. The accusations often assert that the blood of the children of Christians is especially coveted, and historically, blood libel claims have been made in order to account for the otherwise unexplained deaths of children. In some cases, the alleged victim of human sacrifice has become venerated as a martyr, a holy figure around whom a martyr sect might arise. And you go through here, and look, this is just Wikipedia. I mean, you could find this in other articles and things like that. I get it. You can't use Wikipedia really as a source. But this is a real thing. I just want to show you that blood libel is a real thing that has gone on through history. It even says in here, although altogether there have been 150 recorded cases of blood libel that resulted in the arrest of and killing of these people throughout history, most of them in the Middle Ages. In almost every case, these people were murdered, sometimes by a mob, sometimes following torture and trial. Okay, so these things did happen. They did occur. The problem is that people don't believe that this stuff occurs anymore, and I've said it a million times. All these things that used to occur. They've just created a matrix around it. They hide it, right? So all this stuff with witches. People believe that, the witch trials and all that stuff existed, and now they think it doesn't. But every movie, every cartoon, every Disney thing is about witches and witchcraft, right? But they're like, oh, there's no real witches. Yet they're Vogue and these other people are writing articles about the newest fashion trend for witches and things like that, but they don't believe it's going on. Well, the same goes for this stuff. These people never stopped doing any of these things. They've just hidden it from us, and now we live in the dumbest time period ever in the history of the world, so people don't realize this stuff's going on because they're walking around on their phones, they're walking into walls, they don't have a clue. But this did occur. This is something that did happen in history. And of course, they take it and they twist it and they say, well, it was all, made up. They made it up because they didn't like these specific people, which what a coincidence, right? And again, this isn't hate speech against anyone because the people who claim, to follow these practices can be of any skin color, any ethnicity. Okay, they're not what you think. It's not just these people who look a certain way. These teachings, which you can find inside of the Kabbalah, inside of the Zohar, inside of Crowley's teachings, this is what goes on. This is what they're making mainstream. And that's why they use humor, like The Rock saying something like that. And this isn't the first clip. I mean, how many clips have I shown of people? I just showed one, Jerry Seinfeld, of the Kardashians talking about eating, human flesh and things like that. Santa Clarita Diet. Okay, they're taking all this stuff. They're using humor to deflect, which I've said a million times, and then they're normalizing it. It's amazing to me that people cannot see this. But I understand when somebody is sound asleep and they find a video like this, they're just going to automatically go, oh, you're out of your mind. You're telling me that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, eats children. And what people don't understand is this practice has been going on, since ancient Egypt, since Babylon. And there is, a high that these people get, from drinking the blood of children. There is there's a reason that Crowley talks about using innocent children, especially young boys, in these black magic rituals. But people don't want to believe it goes on. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who's listening who isn't aware of this stuff, it is going on. It's just been hidden. But the reason that you're here and you found this channel, you should consider it a sign to look further, to dig deeper, to understand what's really going on. Because it's the truth. And your mind just doesn't want to believe it because you've been taught and trained with nothing but lies. You've been put through school systems that teach you the same thing over and over again, that educate you with lies and a fake history of the world. These people have been controlling reality for a long period of time and deceiving many. So remember, that the only truth in this world is Jesus Christ. If you're somebody out there and this stuff scares you, I don't blame you. I understand how deep it gets. I understand how scary it can get. But remember, if you have salvation through Jesus Christ, you've already won, and you don't need to know this stuff. The reason that I do this channel is to show people who are asleep the truth, and a lot of times it does help people pick up their Bible and come back to God. And it helps them find salvation through Jesus Christ. But they can only do that on their own. And for those of us who are awake and have salvation and still want to see this stuff because we want to point it out, that's what we do it for, to point it out to people, because people, can get lulled to sleep and go back into being lukewarm and not realizing that there really is a spiritual war going on. So, again, this is just another clip, and I want to thank somebody who passed it along to me. I don't have their name in front of me right now, but they know who they are. I sent them a message and thanked them. It's the same stuff, right? Day in and day out. Humor, deflection. This is how they normalize all this stuff. And then people will come over here and they'll be like, you're out of your mind. You're a lunatic. Oh, you really think that? If they only knew, right? And you could look into things like blood libel. Okay? Things that have been documented, that have occurred. But then they come up with reasons. Well, it was all made up, right? It was made up because they were persecuting those people specifically. Oh, so they just made it up that they were just eating. You know what I mean? They were running around going, they're eating children. Let's kill them because I don't like the way that their nose looks or their hair looks. Give me a break. How asleep do you have to be to fall for that kind of narrative? So here's The Rock just talking about eating children, just more normal stuff going on in today's world, right? Unbelievable. But we're supposed to laugh. Don't forget to hit that laugh box. What a joke. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.